China, like any other developing or underdeveloping countries, were puzzled by the devastating powers of pollution. One day, after we wake up from dreams and find that those beautiful flowers, fresh air, green trees, and clean water, which were often praised and depicted in poems and novels, have totally disappeared. This is October 14th, 1995, one hot summer afternoon. People gathered here to see and discuss the polluted water. The founders of this campaign were 15 artists from America and China. Here, performing artists declare the opening of water protection campaign on the Funao River.
Well, I went to China prepared to do a small environmental project and ended up gathering artists from Lhasa, Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu to do 2 weeks of water quality and water consciousness on the Funan rivers in Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan. We started by having many meetings, working together and sharing ideas in public is not a common thing in China. And you see us here working in the yard of the foreign guest house where I lived with my assistant and the water quality center. Our first event was washing silk, and not long ago people used to be able to wash their silk in these rivers, and they came from far and wide to do that because the silk came out brighter. This piece, washing silk, went right to the heart of the Chengdu consciousness and their love and pride. And this is the first public performance event, and we actually were the first people allowed to work in public without government controls. And along the way, our crew of Chinese participants talked with the elders and asked them for their memories and stories of the river. All these flags, there are about 100 of them, were made by the Tibetan artists and myself. We painted and made flags about water, life in the water, water quality, used some Tibetan symbols. Washing ice, we froze the river water into ice cubes, and then the public was invited to try and scrub it clean as it melted. They're rebuilding the riverfront now, putting in an infrastructure for waste treatment. This tea house was filled with ice that dripped into the teacups, and it's one of the oldest tea houses. This is called Washing Face, and these washstands are found everywhere in China, and the group that created the piece passed out water quality signs and information. And we also draped every sewage drainage point for about half a mile up and down the river on both sides. Tea houses are very popular in Chengdu. Everyone hangs out in the tea houses and drinks tea, and right now turns their back to the river. A very stunning piece was hanging these large earthenware pots off the bridge. The pots are used for food storage or storage of liquids. This group here is looking down on 6 banners of water quality and 20 ducks who have signs around their necks about water. The ducks will be released. It's a very Chinese piece. The old men fishing, pretending to fish in a fake river with garbage. And this group made, there used to be 54 different kinds of fish that could live in this river. Now there's maybe 2 or 3 that accidentally get in there. A highly successful piece is a propaganda board. Propaganda boards are a traditional way of communicating to the public, and this propaganda board communicates about water quality. And the team of artists that created the events and going very public with us says many things, because in China right now artists don't go public that often, and our photographs are all displayed in several places. People were invited to sign their names who are for water quality. This is a government official. These mirrors are hung on scales and down the retaining wall of the river, so bringing some light and highlight. For the time that the installations were up, some of the artists had to sleep there to make sure nothing was stolen. And this is a living water environment.
老同志看了这个有什么想法没有呢？你也看这儿火，就看这些。Every
day, all day was an ongoing event.
Well, water is our life, so the aim is that people can remember and understand that and want to do something. People don't remember, in my country too, that water is the basis of life. We don't know how to take care of it.
第一次大型的艺术活动，而且它那个整个那个艺术创作的那个主题哈，它就是说关注的那个环境保护那个问题哈，现在也是全球性的那个热点问题。我觉得作为中国艺术家能够直接跟他们合作参与进来，我觉得对我来说是很荣幸的那个事。
因为在我们国家这个现在还是个发展中的国家，经济和环境这个问题的话，现在矛盾还是比较大，要处理好也是很不容易的事情。但是呢，现在最困难、最大的障碍还是我们一个是国际领导。 还有就是全国人民，或者我们成都的市民对环境的意识的认识问题差距。
And this is the putting together of the baskets for this ritual where people gave their prayers for the river with a lotus. Lots of lotus used to grow in the river, and we recorded them in calligraphy and presented the statements to the city. Very, very large crowd collected with great enthusiasm and pride. And Chengdu's famous storyteller came and told stories about the river. And here we are carrying this, the baskets and the lotus and the candles to put in the river.
Okay. 后边低 ，OK。前面的要下水，前面要下水。哎呀！往中间选，往中间一点。那个李丹，中间的，往中间。那个，行，你看，歪了。
Oh, hold it for a minute, wait.
稍微推。
Hold.
要往边上跑。Let it go, it's gonna clap. 让它走。
No, I think it's...
小心点啊，你小心点啊，李丹，小心啊。
It's great, it's great, it's great.
Something I haven't seen before. Dan?
Did you see the jury look at O.J. Simpson?
They did not. They did not. And as we were saying before, people were reading into that perhaps they had bad news for O.J. Simpson. But again, this morning, they did not look at him when they came in. They kept their eyes averted. They were looking down. They looked at each other. Some of them even took little glances over at the gallery. But again, when the verdict was being read, they did not look at O.J. Simpson. So this jury has been poker-faced from day one, and they go out the same way.
Laurie Levinson, you heard Ruth Jones say a moment ago that she hopes, as a former prosecutor, current law professor, that the American public does not take this case as indicative of, one, a case being decided on racial lines, I'm paraphrasing here, but roughly, and two,